Hey everyone, welcome back, and today we are gonna check SC type 1. So I already made a video on SC type 0. So if you're new to the channel, you can click on the link above. So you can complete that video and then you can come back to type 1 here. So it's a repeated one, and then basically they will start with the type 1 and type 2 difference, and then they will ask you to implement type 2 design. Okay, so you can tell that orally, or some interview questions they will ask you to write. Okay, so for example in all state in 2023 they asked one candidate to to picture out all the design, okay, in a paper. Okay, so we have to take or like 1 minute or 2 minutes to sketch everything, okay, to sketch the entire design and then to show them in the interview. So I hope you have watched type 0. So if not, I'll just just cover that types. Okay, one second. So there are like total these many types. Okay, so we have completed type 0. So we are now going to type 1. So type 1 concept is just simple. Okay, it's like easy to implement. Just you need to be just overwrite the latest data, okay, on the top of the existing history one. Okay, just a simple update. When they ask you about type 1 type 2, the only difference is there, in the type 1 you're not maintaining the history. Okay, so in type 2 you're maintaining history, so that's a major difference. And then type 1 process is like simple. Okay, you're just going to update. Okay, so update the record with your with your latest data. That's it. So for that you are going to, okay, you are going to design the ETL graph now, and then the sufficient coding will just see. Okay, so we'll see the required coding for this implementation. So you can just view this in the internet. Okay, so you can study in AI chatbot as well. Okay, so I'll just start with the first topic. Okay, expectation would be data warehouse concepts. Okay, so in all the technologies, okay, should like these all the technologies, like this topic is important, highly important for data engineer position. Okay, so the thing is, when you consider CDC, okay, when you're looking into CDC process, you have to know understand about dimension fact. Okay, what is snapshot, okay, and then current data delta. Okay, so everything you should know. You should have a picture. Okay, you should so if you work in a project, I think you might be aware of. Otherwise, you study the basics. Okay, so why are we using effective date on it? Okay, so where should we update the date? Okay, so what is the create date, and then what is the snapshot data? So everything comes into this concept. Okay, so make sure you brush the concept, and then you design the graph, and then you implement. Okay, so if you don't have any SE type graph in your project, okay, just ask your seniors and then reach out to them, and then try to go through your sandbox. Okay, so at least some plans. Okay, in your sandbox you might have plans. Okay, continuous flows, okay, somewhere those graphs will be hiding. Okay, you just find out, and then you can study on yourself. Okay, so the essay type 1. Okay, we'll just start with that. So before that, I'll just give you the random. I'll just give you the idea behind this. Okay, so the first point is I'll just compromise. I'll just compress. Okay, I'll just compress the whole thing into one line. Okay, so you know uh, only insert only. Okay, update and then insert. Okay, so no history maintained. So that means you're not maintaining the previous records. Okay, so only update means like update. Okay, only update with current data, that is latest data. Okay, or if any new record comes, you have to insert. Okay, so if new records, then insert. Okay, so that's the one line. So apart from that, there are like some more points. Okay, some more points that you can study. Okay, study in the internet. Okay, so there are like some points like this type 1 deals with the non-critical data. Okay, so that they would have told. Okay, so after that like for where. Okay, so in the in the business domains, like where you should exactly use type 1 and then type 2. Okay, where's the difference, and then why are we choosing, why are we going for type 1? So those many questions can appear in interview. So this is only one line. Okay, so we are now in the when we design the ETL, we have to make sure like we have to update the okay table, okay, with the current data which is coming in. and then if there's any new record, we have to insert it. Okay, so back in SC type 0, we have seen only insert, but we haven't done any major update. So the code will be totally different than the design, even design as well. Okay, so that's the difference between type 0 and type 1. So here the main part is like we are going to update. Okay, so for that, let us take the consider this data. So here I just took a snapshot of the table. Okay, so table that we have, okay, customer table. Suppose you have, okay, in a customer table you have the existing record. Okay, so we have John data and then we have Ash. Okay, so both of them we have those data. The created. Okay, created means when like the inserted, okay, inserted date, okay, and then updated. Okay, so both are same. So that means maybe in this time, okay, in this date, these two records, they got inserted into the table. Okay, so far we have these two rows. And then now what we have, okay, now what we have, so maybe you consider, okay, maybe consider you have consider some the next date. Okay, so next date you have, this is day 1. Okay, so we consider day 0 here, or day 1 or day 2, whatever. Okay, so this is like day 1 already, like we have inserted rows. Okay, so now in the day 2, okay, next day we have two records coming in. Okay, so here the first record, which is John. Okay, custody is matching. So where's the difference? Okay, we have difference in customer zip code. Okay, so here 40012 and then 12346. Okay, so that's the update here. So that's the update here, that we need to uh, existing record. Okay, we need to mark it in existing record. Okay, so now here we don't have 1 or 2. Okay, so that's a new key. Okay, new customer ID, and then we have found a new customer. Okay, so insert. So it's kind of it's kind of offset. Okay, like update and then insert. Okay, both functions we need to do. So this is how you have to clear, you have to have the, like have this idea on your mind, and then just picture the ETL design according to this. Okay, so collect that new insertion records and then insert the table, and then you can compare the existing records, find out the change. Okay, find out which column has changed. For example, the main important thing, our candidate. Okay, main important thing the candidate often misses. You have to find that like compare the records. Okay, so now you have you have the latest compound dynamic compare records. Okay, so but the thing is, when you compare manually, okay, so you have to compare each column. Okay, cust ID, cust name, cust date. Suppose if you have a name change. Okay, so John became Johnny. Okay, so in that case, Johnny and then zip code, so both are changed. Okay, so you need to implement both. Okay, you need to find out the changed columns, and then you need to update the record. Okay, so that's what we are going to do. So we'll just design that ETL accordingly. Okay, so I hope you are clear with the input and then, okay, snapshot and then current data. So we'll just feed that to the ETL design, and then we'll see how it works. So here, as usually, okay, similar to the type 0 graph, I just designed our main graph. Okay, to just structure the flow, entire flow. So from here, no, I'm just creating a snapshot from the first subgraph. I'm just creating a snapshot. Okay, so which is nothing but these two records. Okay, so these two records are already available in the database. Okay, table. So I think the hope this one is fine. Okay, you'll be using a SQL query here. Okay, select query here, and then, okay, I'll just put select query. Okay, I think if you have doubt, okay, doubt in this coding part, you can refer. Okay, can always refer to this site. Okay, your docs.abinitio.com. Okay, so here if you go to this one, and then if you search for update table or run SQL or input table, whatever, you can able to like you can able to read the configuration and coding part as well. Okay, so this is nothing but your input table, which is like dimension table. Okay, input table time. Okay, so you can configure this by giving the query, and then you can research it. Okay, you can give the proper DML here in reformat, and then your data is created. Okay, so once this phase 0, okay, once this phase 0 is completed, we have the ready-made data. Okay, your historical data. Okay, which is snapshot. So and then now in the type when the graph runs phase 1, so in that time you have the current data is coming in. Okay, so we'll be able to read the current data So in the current data, we have these two rows. Okay, so one which is like join existing one. Okay, we need update for this one, for this row, and then another new record. Okay, so suppose you have two records coming in, and then two previous records are here. Okay, so the usually will be joining that. Okay, so let's say inner join. We'll do inner join here. So as usual, okay, I think if you watched SCD type 0, so where will you get the new records? You'll be getting the new records from the unused one. Okay, so here first we'll see that insert thing. Okay, so first we'll see this insert, first insert. Okay. So first we'll insert the entry record in the table. Okay, so we'll just collect that. So here let's say some some LRF or some no insert file. Okay, something insert. Okay, so this data comes from unused to one port. Okay, so because unused one, okay, that is that is related to the current data. So there we don't have the keys matching. So you have the entry data left out. Okay, so the left out data will come from will go to the unused one port, and then we are collecting here. Okay, so later we can load. Okay, in the next phase we can load. So far we have collected. Okay, suppose if we say if you have one more record. Okay, so one more record 103. You know. Ajay. Okay, so 40. Okay, so you have one more. Okay, so these two rows will go into this file, this insert file. Okay, will get captured here. So this part is over. Okay, this part is over. So now we have to we have to do the update part. Okay, so for that, here in the join, okay, so we'll configure the join. Okay, so we'll know after matching. Okay, after finding the matching records, we'll just push out. Okay, push out the records. Okay, out, and then in here we have to figure out how do we compare. Okay, how do we compare those records? Okay, those records individually no with on column level, and then assign the flag. Okay, so that's what we are going to do here. Okay, so further I'm going to put reformat. So mainly flag assignment. Okay, so flag assignment, you'll be adding a DML there. Okay, so up to this, like, DML is same. Okay, you are you input snapshot and then current data. Okay, so you can follow the same type of DML, whatever you design. Okay, for custody will follow a decimal, and then custom will follow the string. Okay, whatever. Okay, you just write the DML properly, and then you just follow that. In the reformat out, you just add one more table called flag. Okay, so the flag is a decimal. Okay, either 1 or 0. Okay, so the flag 1 means like the record is changed. Okay, we'll compare and then we'll put the flag as 1 if there's no change in record. For example, let's say you have hash. Okay, so this one is okay. If you have this data coming again, okay, so we will compare this 101 hash, and then you'll find no change. Okay, so that will come under unchanged record. Okay, so unchanged record we don't have to bother. Okay, we'll just put it to the trash. Okay, so the change record we'll just collect it in one file, and then we'll just update. Okay, otherwise you can directly throw that into the update table. Okay, we'll just configure this. So you have update table. Okay, you can just put a run SQL, and then for that you need to know how to write the SQL. Okay, so you'll be using a colon. Okay, you'll be using that, and then if you have doubt on that, you can go and verify this site. Okay, so because like you need to know you have to write that the correct statement, and then you have to execute. Okay, so that's how like your change record will go here, and then it will get updated. Okay, so now if you carefully see here, there are two flows coming out of reformat. So that means I have used the concept of index. Okay, so my index 0. Okay, so 0, my index 0 will have the change records. Okay, going into the update table, and then my index 1. Okay, so that has the flag 0. Okay, unchanged record. So we'll see how to write the code for join and reformat here. Okay, so after that your unchanged record goes here. You can you can just put a trash here, unchanged records. Okay, so okay, yeah, so main two things is like we are updating the new like existing record, and then we are inserting. Okay, so now we'll see the code for join and reformat. So here, okay, so this is a okay, this one we'll just okay, so now we are going to see this part. Okay, how are you going to update? So let's say we are we are in the join component. Okay, so the join component, after the keys so once the keys are matching. Okay, so you have 100 okay, 100, and then only one key is matching here. Okay, so we'll just write, okay, so out, outer star, you just set the priority, okay, and then in 0, okay, in 0 1, okay, so this will throw me, so here in 1 dot, okay, so this will push, matching this one, okay, this entire, this entire data, okay, entire row, and then this row, okay, it will push there. Okay, so you have, see, you take this date, okay, for example, current created and updated should be your effective date, okay. Here suppose, that parameter will be there in your pset, okay. If you press, F11, you will have that parameter. You just update the effective date here, okay, for the both created and updated for this one, for the current data. So that's how, like, you'll have this 2025, the next date, okay, maybe 09 12, okay. So because, like, when the data comes in, right, so current data comes in, it has that date, okay, the system date. So the system date, like, later when you enter into the data table, you'll maintain this create date as the same, okay, because, like, customer data and, okay, got inserted on the 11th but updated on, say 12th, okay. So this data will be updated here, okay. So I will see on this one, okay, once you make this, once you code this, and then now in additionally, okay, uh, uh, in additionally, we'll just, figure out, okay, we have to see, reformat has to, work on the flag, so we have to create the flag, okay. So while for creating the flag, you'll see, you have to write a code here, okay. You have to just compare the records, okay. For that, for first, I'm just, I'll just declare outer flag, okay. So make sure you have the flag DML specified in the output of join, okay, so that reformat can use that flag parameter, and then he can that reformat can divide, okay, he can divide, the changed records flag into one side, and then, unchanged record into another side. Okay, so it will just help the reformat to do that process. So here, okay, just write if condition, okay. So here, if, okay, if 10 first id, you have to compare all the fields, okay. So not equal to in one first id, okay. So in this case, uh, and then another or condition, okay. So like this, I'm just going for all the data, okay. So we have customer name, and then we have third one is age, right? So age and then zip code. So you have age, and then you have zip, okay. So these are the fields, okay. Yeah, so these are the fields, okay. So if anything, okay, so if anything, okay, so this will be false here, okay. The customer id remains same, so 100 remains same. So John becomes, Johnny, okay. So it will become that, so this one will be true, okay. It's not equal to, John is not equal to Johnny, so this will be true. So customer age, that is remaining same, okay, that is false. So at least one true we have, okay. So one column is changed, and then, we have zip code also changed, okay. So for all these changes, you just take it as one, okay. So your flag should be one, else part, okay, else 0, that's it, okay. So this should be, you just plug this, in the, you can directly do it in grid mode, okay. So you don't have to code inside join. You can directly just, plug this in grid mode, open the join in grid mode, and then you can directly write this code. So after this, we have created the flag, okay. So now we have to make use of this flag, okay, in the reformat. We'll see reformat code. So in the reformat, okay, so make sure your count is 2. So when your count is 2, you have 2 ports, outside of reformat. So for that, I'm going to write the output indexes, okay. Output index, no need of indexes, so output index, okay. So here I'm just begin, okay. So here I'll just write out. Okay, so I'll just set the priority here if in dot flag, okay, so equal to 1. So in that case, you send it to the first port. Okay, so otherwise 1. Okay, the second port. Okay, that's it. So that's my code here. So the change it record. Okay, change it or updated records. Okay, so updated record will flow here, will flow to uh, 0 port. Okay, so out 0, let's say out 0, and then your unchanged record will flow to, okay, out 1, so that will be collected here. Okay, so here in out 1 your unchanged record will be there, and then out 0 your updated records will go here, and then that will be okay. So that will go, and then you will be your update table will be will be happening. Okay, so your update table will happen. So it will pick this record. Okay, because this has the changed one, right? So it will pick this one, and then it will be updating. Okay, so that's how you have to know, you have to implement this, and then and then just okay, so in your second phase, you are just updating here, and then final phase you can insert whatever new tables. Okay, whatever new records come in. Okay, for the new records you can maintain the same date. Okay, so whenever you insert these are new records. Okay, whenever you insert these two rows, you can maintain the create date and update date same as your system date. Okay, so for new records, okay, you can maintain sysdate. We have a sysdate function, right? You can assign this, okay, for create a date column, and then you have updated column, okay, for new records. The only thing is for the updated, well, for the existing record, like if you want to update, you'll be changing this updated date, okay, because that will be that will have a current day date. So that's how, okay, so that's how you have to implement this type 1. So if you have any doubts or any doubts that you have to, like, you can include, they can ping me. Okay, you can ping in the comment below, so we can just look into this one. So we'll come up with the say type 2. Okay, so later. Okay, so for now I think this one looks good. Okay, so type 1 looks good, and then we'll cover some more concepts, okay, in later video. Tata, bye bye.